There are 5 subdivisions or neighborhoods in Fort Wayne that nobody is talking about. Now, I want to touch on that in this video. If you're thinking about moving to Fort Wayne and you want to know what are some of the neighborhoods that might fit your lifestyle, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a twist. I'm going to compare these subdivisions to movies and TV shows that we're all familiar with so you can know what subdivision matches up with what TV show and how they feel. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Knowe. Me and my wife Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. We also work with a team with Stacia and Caleb Ellington. Caleb normally does these videos, but he's under the weather, so I had to fill in for him. If you're thinking about moving to Fort Wayne, feel free to reach out. We left our contact information below. We also have a free relocation guide to help you better get a feel for what it's like to live here in Fort Wayne. So in this video, as I said before, I'm going to compare these neighborhoods to TV shows and movies. And so it'll help you think about it and say, oh, wait a minute. You know, I remember that movie. I can see how that neighborhood kind of mirrors that. So the first subdivision we're going to get into is Arlington Park. Now, Arlington Park is a very hot neighborhood. There were 36 homes sold in Arlington Park in the last 12 months. The median sales price in Arlington Park is $260,000, which is also the median sales price for Fort Wayne, Indiana. Currently, the average days on market is 24 days, but that's really not a long time when you're considering 36 separate transactions. The shortest days on market was 0 days, so probably a pocket listing, and the longest was 57 days. So what makes Arlington Park so lucrative? The thing that jumps off the page about this subdivision is the affordability. If you haven't already heard, Fort Wayne is one of the most affordable cities to live in Fort Wayne, but there's one caveat. You can find several homes for under $225,000, but that does not mean that they are move-in ready. A lot of homes that you'll find at the lower end need considerable amount of work. So really what you're looking at is a house at or about $230,000 to be move-in ready. So this subdivision has a lot of homes that are move-in ready that fit a lot of the criteria that people want, and they're not super old. So this subdivision was started somewhere around the 60s going up to the 1980s. So a lot of first-time home buyers like to target this neighborhood because right now inflation is up, we have high interest rates. So a $230,000 house with about 7% interest, you're hanging around about $1,500 a month if you put no money down. So this is why this subdivision is so lucrative. You can find a move-in ready house at a price that the average home buyer can have. This subdivision has a variety of different home styles. Because it was built 50 or 60 years ago, you can find a lot of single-family ranch style homes, 2-story homes. No 2 homes are the same in Arlington Park, and it's a mature neighborhood. So you have a lot of large trees, tree-lined streets, sidewalks, all of the benefits. So Arlington Park is a mature subdivision. You have mature trees, tree-lined streets. But what does it feel like to live in Arlington Park? Well, I would compare Arlington Park to the TV show Breaking Bad with Bryan Cranston. Now, I know Breaking Bad is about a meth dealer, but I'm not insinuating that there are meth dealers in Arlington Park, but the style of homes that they had down in that subdivision in Breaking Bad, even though it was all the way out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I feel like it gives that same vibe. Like it has a somewhat older neighborhood, but not too old, very quiet, laid back, unassuming place where nothing really happens, that's safe. So that's why the show Breaking Bad was so crazy, because they had Trails, hiking trails, all of the fun stuff that families like to do. You have it all within like 3 to 4 miles, even less than that. If you want to see an example of a home on the market in that subdivision, check out 15020 Cedar Key Cove, listed for $454,000. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, over 2,600 square feet. And as you can see, you can get a very good feel of what homes look like in that subdivision. But what TV show or movie best describes that subdivision? Well, I would say The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window with Kristen Bell. The reason I picked that show to describe that neighborhood is because of the exterior design of a lot of those homes. When I watched that show with Kristen Bell, I really did like the interior decor. I like the open floor plan. One of my friends, a couple of my friends actually stay in that subdivision, and when I went to go visit them, that was the first thing I noticed. I mean, inside of their house, they had switchback stairwells. Some of them had switchback stairwells. Some of them had spiral staircases inside. They all had open floor plans. I even liked, one of my friends had their open kitchen, and as it led into the great room, they had like a couple pillars that separated the great room from the open kitchen. So I really thought that was interesting. And that would be the best description. I really highly recommend that anything that comes on the market in that subdivision, that you really check it out, because it might fit your lifestyle. The last subdivision I want to talk to you guys about is Inverness Hills, Inverness Lake, or Inverness Commons. Now, in the city that you live in, you may have this as well, where one subdivision has several different parts. So Inverness has condos, they have single family residential, and then they have pond lots or lake front property, not a man-made lake, not a whole entire natural lake. The median sales price for this subdivision is just under $500,000, sitting at $498,000. There were only 8 homes sold in this subdivision in the previous 12 months in all 3 of those areas, and they don't last long. One house was sold in less than a day. The longest house sat on the market for only 11 days. So if something comes up in this area, you might want to grab it. I consider this to be the bottom of the upper class neighborhoods, because we do have subdivisions that get up to million, 1.5, 2 million. But this is still kind of in the upper middle class range where you don't have to really break the bank, if that makes sense. If you want to see a good example of a home in that subdivision, check out 7807 Inverness Glen Drive. It's listed on the market for about $600,000, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, full finished basement, just under 5,000 square feet. Now, if you've noticed in this subdivision, these homes are a little older, not too old, but this subdivision is older affluent. So the interior, sometimes older people like to have wallpaper from that generation. So there might need to be a light rehab, taking the wallpaper down and painting it, maybe changing out the cabinets, upgrading the appliances. But other than that, they don't build houses of this size with this amount of space anymore. So if this is something that fits your lifestyle, you might want to check it out. Now, the feel of this neighborhood, I would have to compare this subdivision to the TV show The Sopranos with James Gandolfini. I know it's another kind of crime drama, and I'm not saying that there's criminal activity in Inverness, but it does put me in the mindset of an older, affluent neighborhood that they just don't build anymore. Valley Country Club. It's located next to Pine Valley Country Club. Tip about all homes: if there's a country club in the subdivision, it's a great neighborhood. Also, though, you got to watch out for those HOA fees. But this is a very hot subdivision. There were 35 homes sold over the last 12 months. The median home price here is $315,000. The average days on market is 20 days, and that's pretty good for 35 homes sold just in one subdivision. The shortest days on market was probably a pocket listing, which was no days, and then the longest was 139. The thing that I love about this subdivision is it's close to a lot of amenities. Actually, we're right off of Coldwater. Pretty much everything is in this area. You have the Kroger that's over here. You're right near DuPont, and DuPont is a major connector between Lima Road and Coldwater Road. So everything that you want, from restaurants to grocery stores, and then getting back and forth inside the city. So Coldwater Road is a major road to get down towards the city. So if you're coming up north, you can get downtown and back home quick, lickety split. But this neighborhood, I love this neighborhood because it's a more mature neighborhood. These homes date back all the way to the late 60s to early 90s. And so again, I would like to compare this subdivision to a TV show or movie. And the movie that's coming to mind is Angels in the Outfield. That's right. This subdivision is giving me a little Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right? It's giving Tony Danza and Matthew McConaughey before he became famous. But I love this subdivision. You can find a lot of character in this subdivision. A lot of the homes are built differently. So it's not very cookie cutter. You've got the exterior, you've got two-story homes. Also, the good thing about this subdivision is a lot of the floor plans are unique. So you can get two-story, single-family ranch, and there's a lot of basements in this subdivision. So for the price point, if you're looking for a house with a basement on the north side of town, if you find one in this subdivision, I highly recommend Pine Valley. The next subdivision on our list is Rolling Oaks. It's on the north side of Fort Wayne. It's actually in a town called Huntertown. 46845 is the area code. There were 33 homes sold in this subdivision in the last 12 months. The median home price is $450,000. The average days on market is 132 days. The shortest day on market was no days, and the longest was about 140. Now, what makes this subdivision so unique is it's a mixed builder subdivision in a new construction neighborhood, which means that every lot is up for bid from various builders, unlike other subdivisions, some subdivisions that only have one builder for the entire subdivision. So there's a bit of a competition here, which is good. And also you have a lot of variety of different types of homes. If you've got 4 or 5 different builders in one subdivision, they're kind of competing with each other. So that's kind of cool, actually. There are currently 12 homes on the market in this subdivision. 1212 Mosaic Street is listed for $444,000 and some odd cents. So let's round that up to $445,000. 4-bedroom, 4-bath. I think it's 4,400 square feet over that amount. So if that's something that you're looking for, check that home out. So I wanted to compare each one of these subdivisions to a TV show or a movie. So this subdivision reminds me of Moving Day with Richard Pryor. And actually most new construction neighborhoods remind me of Moving Day because these new construction neighborhoods are naked. You know, the builders and developers, they came in and they knocked down all the trees, or they bought all the land from a farmer. So there aren't any mature trees. All of the homes are super white. The sidewalk is very white, so it's very bright. And I just remember in that movie, Moving Day, when I was a kid and I watched it, that movie just seemed so bright. So Rolling Oaks kind of gives me the Moving Day Richard Pryor vibe. So now that you know 5 subdivisions that you may want to check out if you're looking to move to Fort Wayne, check out Caleb's last video where he talks about things they don't tell you before moving to Fort Wayne, and we'll see you there.